Beneath the mountains you're looking at right now sits an estimated $1 trillion in untapped mineral wealth. Copper, lithium, iron, and rare earth elements the entire modern world depends on. Some geologists believe it could be one of the richest untapped mineral deposits left on the planet. And yet, this same land remains one of the poorest countries on Earth, where many families survive on less than $1 a day. This is Afghanistan. A land bridge at the crossroads of Central and South Asia, fought over, traded through, and settled by empire after empire for over 2,000 years, yet somehow still holding on to a culture, a hospitality, and a resilience found almost nowhere else on Earth. So what does it actually look like to live in a land this ancient, this beautiful, and this fiercely, endlessly resilient? This is the story of life in Afghanistan. Daily life in Afghanistan begins early, shaped profoundly by the country's dramatic mountainous geography, where entire villages perch on terraced hillsides and valleys separated from one another by some of the tallest, most rugged mountains found anywhere in Asia. In Kabul, the capital, mornings begin with the call to prayer, echoing across a city ringed by mountains, streets filling quickly with vendors, bicycles, and the steady hum of a capital that has grown enormously over the past 2 decades, its bazaars stacked with fresh Nayan bread, dried fruit, and mounds of pomegranates, a fruit so central to Afghan identity that entire regions build their local economies around its harvest. In rural villages across the countryside, farmers rise before dawn to tend terraced fields of wheat, and in the fertile valleys, orchards of apricots, mulberries, and grapes that have sustained Afghan communities for centuries, irrigation channels called karez, some over 1,000 years old, still carrying water from mountain springs down to fields below through ingenious underground tunnels engineered long before modern technology existed. Nomadic Kuchi herders remain a genuine visible part of Afghan life too. Families moving seasonally with their flocks of sheep and goats across vast distances, camel caravans still crossing high mountain passes in a rhythm of life that has continued largely unchanged for generations. Tents pitched temporarily in valleys before the herds move on once again. Children in villages often walk considerable distances to reach school, education valued deeply by many Afghan families, despite the genuine logistical and at times safety challenges involved. Communities frequently coming together to support the construction and upkeep of local schools. By mid-morning, village bazaars come alive, small shops selling everything from fresh produce to hand-woven textiles. The rhythmic sound of a blacksmith's hammer or a carpet weaver's loom carrying through narrow streets built the same way for generations. There's a genuine hospitality woven into daily Afghan life that visitors consistently describe as remarkable. Guests, even strangers, welcomed with tea and food as a matter of deeply held cultural and religious tradition. Hospitality treated not as an optional courtesy, but as a genuine point of personal and family honor. Family and community in Afghanistan are built on deep, structured bonds of loyalty, respect, and mutual obligation that extend well beyond the immediate household. Extended families frequently live together or in close proximity, elders holding genuine authority and deep respect within the household. Major family decisions typically made collectively, with the guidance of parents and grandparents carrying real, acknowledged weight. The concept of calm, a complex web of tribal, family, and community loyalty, shapes social structure profoundly across much of Afghanistan. Networks of extended family and tribal connection, providing genuine support, identity, and security in a way that extends well beyond what a single nuclear family alone could offer. Hospitality, mentioned earlier, deserves real emphasis here as a cornerstone of Afghan family and community life. Guests are honored with the very best a family can offer, often far exceeding what the family can comfortably afford, a tradition rooted in deep cultural and religious values around generosity and honor. Neighbors maintain genuine practical closeness across Afghan communities too, labor sharing during harvest season remaining common in rural areas, families supporting one another through significant life events, including weddings, which often involve entire communities in days of celebration, music, and shared feasting. Afghan weddings in particular reflect this communal weight. Celebrations often spanning multiple days, families sometimes saving for years to host a wedding, reflecting the significance placed on this milestone, extended family and community members traveling considerable distances to attend and celebrate together. Poetry and storytelling hold genuine everyday significance within Afghan family life too. Elders reciting classical Persian and Pashto poetry from memory, oral tradition carrying real cultural weight, children learning proverbs and verses that have been passed down through countless generations. Afghan culture reflects the country's remarkable position at the crossroads of ancient trade routes, a place where Persian, Central Asian, South Asian, and Islamic influences have blended over centuries into something distinctly, richly Afghan. The Silk Road once ran directly through this land, and its legacy remains genuinely visible today. Afghan carpets, hand-knotted using techniques passed down through generations, remain among the most prized in the world. Each region and even each family often maintaining distinctive patterns and color traditions recognized by experts internationally. Buzkashi, often described as the national sport, involves skilled horsemen competing to grab and carry a goat carcass across a field, a dramatic, fast-paced tradition with roots stretching back to ancient nomadic horsemanship on the Central Asian steppe. Matches drawing enthusiastic crowds and considerable local pride for the riders, called chapandas, who master this demanding sport. Music holds deep cultural significance here too. The rubab, a lute-like instrument often called the ancestor of the modern sitar, considered the national instrument, its warm, resonant tones central to both classical Afghan music and everyday celebration. Poetry, particularly in Persian and Pashto, occupies a place of genuine reverence in Afghan culture. The poet Rumi, though born in what is now Afghanistan, celebrated as a towering figure across the entire Persian-speaking world. His verses still quoted from memory in homes and gatherings across the country today. The Blue Mosque in Mazar-e Sharif, its brilliant turquoise-tiled dome and minarets rising above the city, stands as one of the most visually striking religious sites in the entire Islamic world. Believed by many to be the burial site of a deeply revered figure in Islamic history, drawing pilgrims and visitors alike to witness its genuinely breathtaking architecture. Traditional dress remains meaningful and widely worn across the country. Regional variations in embroidery, color, and style, often identifying a person's specific home province or ethnic background to a trained eye, much the way traditional dress functions in many other culturally rich, diverse nations. Afghanistan's economy remains genuinely challenging, shaped by decades of conflict, difficult mountainous terrain, and limited infrastructure, even as the country sits on remarkable natural resources. Agriculture employs the majority of the Afghan workforce, wheat forming the staple crop across much of the country, alongside significant production of fruits and nuts. Afghanistan has long been renowned for its pomegranates, grapes, apricots, and particularly its almonds and pistachios, exported to markets across the region for generations. Saffron production has grown into a genuinely significant and celebrated export. In recent years, Afghan saffron increasingly recognized internationally for its exceptional quality, providing meaningful income for farming families in regions where it's cultivated. A labor-intensive crop requiring the delicate hand harvesting of crocus flowers. Carpet weaving remains an important economic activity as well as a cultural one. Skilled weavers, frequently women working from home, producing carpets that reach markets around the world, representing countless hours of intricate skilled handwork passed down through families. The mineral wealth mentioned in our opening deserves real attention here. Geological surveys have identified enormous deposits of copper, iron, lithium, and rare earth elements across the country, resources genuinely significant to modern global technology and energy needs, though decades of instability have left much of this wealth largely untapped, representing both real economic potential and a genuine, ongoing challenge for the country's development. Small-scale trade and bazaar commerce remain central to the economy in cities and towns across Afghanistan. Generations of merchant families continuing trading traditions that stretch back to the country's historic role along Silk Road trade routes. Despite these resources, Afghanistan remains among the poorer nations globally. Decades of conflict having significantly disrupted infrastructure, education, and economic development. A genuine, ongoing challenge for a population whose homeland holds such remarkable historical, cultural, and natural wealth. Cost of living in Afghanistan reflects the genuine economic hardship facing much of the population, many families relying on subsistence farming or small-scale trade to meet daily needs. In Kabul, housing and imported goods carry meaningfully higher costs, while rural areas, though materially poorer in cash terms, often provide more direct access to food through family farming. Healthcare access remains a significant genuine challenge across much of the country, particularly in remote mountainous regions where clinics may be a considerable journey away. International aid organizations and local health workers continuing efforts to expand access under genuinely difficult circumstances. Education, deeply valued by many Afghan families despite real challenges, has seen both meaningful progress and significant setbacks over recent decades. Families and communities continuing to prioritize schooling for their children wherever circumstances allow. Utility access, including reliable electricity, remains inconsistent outside major cities. Many rural households relying on wood or other traditional fuel sources, particularly during the harsh mountain winters that define much of the Afghan climate. Despite genuine hardship, Afghan communities maintain strong networks of family, tribal, and neighborly support that meaningfully soften daily struggles, resources, and labor shared generously within extended families and communities as a matter of deeply held cultural obligation. Afghan food reflects the country's position along ancient trade routes, rice, bread, and dried fruit, forming the backbone of a cuisine both hearty and genuinely fragrant. Kabuli pulao, widely considered the national dish, combines fragrant rice with tender lamb, topped with caramelized carrots, raisins, and slivered almonds or pistachios, a dish of genuine celebration served at weddings, holidays, and honored gatherings alike. Naan, baked fresh daily in clay tandoor ovens found in nearly every neighborhood bazaar, forms the essential accompaniment to nearly every Afghan meal, the bread torn by hand and used to scoop rich stews and grilled meats alike. Kebabs, grilled over open charcoal, remain a beloved staple found throughout the country, seasoned simply but expertly, the smoky aroma of grilling meat, a familiar, welcome scent across Afghan markets and street corners. Ashak, delicate dumplings filled with leeks and topped with a savory meat sauce and yogurt, along with mantu, similar dumplings filled with spiced meat, represent the kind of skilled, labor-intensive home cooking passed down through generations of Afghan families. Green tea, often flavored with cardamom, remains the drink of daily life and hospitality alike, served to guests immediately upon arrival as a matter of genuine cultural custom, a warm welcome extended before any conversation even properly begins. Dried fruits and nuts, apricots, mulberries, almonds, pistachios, and raisins hold real significance beyond simple snacking, often exchanged as gifts and central to hospitality, a reflection of the country's genuine agricultural abundance despite its broader economic challenges. Afghanistan's landscape is defined by dramatic, often breathtaking mountain terrain. The Hindu Kush Range dominating much of the country, some peaks rising well over 7,000 meters, among the tallest mountains found outside the Himalayas themselves. Bandi Amir, Afghanistan's first national park, protects a series of extraordinarily vivid turquoise lakes formed by natural mineral dams, considered by many who have witnessed them to be among the most beautiful natural sights found anywhere in Central Asia. The vivid blue water striking against the surrounding arid, rocky landscape. The Wakhan Corridor, a narrow remote strip of territory extending into the high Pamir Mountains, remains one of the most isolated dramatic landscapes in the entire region, historically significant as a buffer zone during the era of empire, home today to small, resilient communities of Vakhi and Kyrgyz herders living at genuinely extreme altitude. Rivers fed by mountain snowmelt cut through valleys across the country, sustaining the terraced agriculture that has fed Afghan communities for centuries. Water here treated with real, practical reverence given the country's often arid overall climate. This dramatic landscape has shaped Afghan identity as profoundly as any single cultural tradition. Mountains functioning historically as both genuine obstacle and genuine protection, isolating communities from one another while also, for centuries, protecting them from full outside conquest. A landscape inseparable from the country's long, complex history. Afghanistan's extreme mountainous terrain has shaped transportation here profoundly. Roads connecting many regions winding dramatically through high passes. Some routes genuinely impassable during the harsh winter months when snow closes mountain roads entirely. In more remote regions, donkeys, horses, and even camels remain genuinely practical, actively used forms of transportation, particularly in areas where modern roads have yet to reach or where terrain remains too rugged for vehicles. Within Kabul and other major cities, a mix of buses, shared taxis, and increasingly private vehicles navigate busy streets. Urban transportation infrastructure having expanded considerably in recent decades, even as challenges remain. Modern connectivity has grown steadily in recent years. Mobile phones increasingly common even in more remote regions, though reliable internet access remains genuinely limited outside major urban centers, a reflection of the broader infrastructure challenges the country continues working to address. For young Afghans, growing up here means navigating genuine, significant challenges alongside deep pride in a culture and history stretching back thousands of years. Education remains deeply valued by many Afghan families despite real, ongoing challenges, families making genuine sacrifices to support children's schooling wherever circumstances allow. Universities in Kabul and other major cities continuing to produce graduates across fields including medicine, engineering, and the arts. Many young Afghans carry forward traditional crafts and trades learned from parents and grandparents, carpet weaving, metalwork, and other skilled traditional work, continuing to provide livelihoods even as the broader economy remains genuinely challenging. A resilience and resourcefulness defines much of the younger generation here. Young Afghans navigating genuine hardship while maintaining real pride in their heritage, language, poetry, and history. A generation carrying forward traditions that have persisted through centuries of change and challenge alike. As evening settles over Afghanistan's valleys and mountain villages, families gather for the day's final meal. Tea poured generously, conversation unhurried, the day's work set gently aside. In rural communities, evenings often mean storytelling and poetry recited from memory, elders sharing history and verses passed down through countless generations, children listening closely to traditions that connect them directly back through their family's long history. In Kabul, the call to prayer marks the transition from day to evening, across a city ringed by mountains now fading into silhouette. Markets slowly quieting, the warm glow of lamplight beginning to fill homes and shop fronts alike. So why do people stay in a land that has faced such genuine, significant hardship? They stay for a history and culture stretching back thousands of years, for poetry and music carried forward through countless generations. They stay for family and community bonds strong enough to endure genuine difficulty and strong enough to bring people home again. And they stay for a homeland whose mountains, valleys, and ancient cities remain, despite everything, deeply, unmistakably beloved. This is Afghanistan, a land at the crossroads of the world, still standing,